Welcome listeners to Radioscope. In this edition of the National Science Magazine, we have an interview on biocoal, followed by another one on finding exoplanets. Next, we bring you a short feature on the occasion of the International Day of Human Space Flight. Moving on, we try to understand how important is the leadership factor in tackling climate change and focus on particular initiatives in making the concerned leaders more effective. In the concluding element of our presentation, we draw attention to the World Immunization Week. On 22nd of April, the world got together to celebrate Earth Day with the theme Our Power, Our Planet. It is increasingly being felt that transition to renewable and clean energy is the only option to save our planet from climate chaos. Scientists are launching new initiatives to tap existing sources of renewable energy as well as trying to create new alternative clean fuel. Biocoal is one such fuel. Dr. Arindam Datta, Senior Fellow of the Energy Research Institute, tells us more.
Biocoal is a concept of green coal, and the green coal can be derived from the fossil coal. That fossil coal can be derived, can be changed, can be fortified, and then it can be called as the green coal. But when we are talking about the biocoal, this biocoal is actually the produce from the biomass material. That is a waste biomass material that can come from any sources, either the municipal solid waste or from the agriculture residues or any other sources. So for this biocoal preparation, first the biomass converted with the pyrolysis technology to pyrolytic oil and the biochar. This pyrolytic oil can be utilized as a crude, and we can get different types of chemicals and different types of diesels from this crude. And after that, the biochar it is remaining. This biochar can be utilized at the biocoal. But this biochar is actually a dusty material. This dusty material can't go directly to the industries. It is having the ash content is very high. So we are pelletizing the biochar in one of our patentized technology, and then this biochar can be transported. It can't break, and it can be transported for long distance, and it can be utilized in the industries. And the calorific value of this biocoal is almost at par with the coal, so it can be very easily utilized with the industries which is using coal as a raw fuel. And the carbon footprint of this biofuel is much lesser than the coal. I will give an example, like if the coal is having around 200 gram per megajoule of carbon footprint, then the biocoal it is having 20 to 30 gram per megajoule of carbon footprint. Biocoal is actually produced from the biomass material which is carbon neutral, but the carbon footprint is coming only from the transportation of biocoal after preparation or the transportation of the raw material. So if we can produce the biocoal through decentralized manner, then this carbon footprint can further reduce, and the carbon emission or the carbon footprint of the coal utilizing industries can be reduced.
Can this biocoal actually solve the problem of stubble burning in agricultural fields?
Of course, because the biofuel concept it came from the northern India first, because in northern India during the month of October and November a large amount of crop residues getting burned, particularly in Punjab, Haryana and the western UP. Now in Haryana this crop residue burning has been reduced after so many initiatives by Government of India, but still some crop residues are getting burned. So around nearly 20 million tons of crop residues are burning in western Uttar Pradesh and Haryana and Punjab, particularly during October and November. But apart from this area, there are also other areas where the crop residues are getting burned, and these crop residues can be utilized to produce biocoal, and this can be utilized very well with different industries which is dependent on the coal.
What is Kolkata's position vis-a-vis biocoal?
In Kolkata, we are not yet started producing biocoal, but definitely in Kolkata there are so many legacy waste. There are so many areas where the crop residues are getting burned around Kolkata. And when the source apportionment study is being conducted, that time also we found that Kolkata and the surrounding area is also having this issue of little bit of crop residue burning. It is not high as Punjab and Haryana, but still it is having the crop residue burning problem. So, of course, these crop residues can be utilized to prepare the biocoal in a decentralized fashion, of course, and this can be utilized, yes.
That was Dr. Arindam Datta, Senior Fellow of the Energy Research Institute, speaking on biocoal. You are tuned to Radioscope. Dr. Sujan Sengupta, former Senior Professor at the Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Bengaluru, is known for his contribution to research in exoplanets. He is presently a visiting professor of physics at the Asoka University, Sonipat, where he has initiated a course on solar and extrasolar planets. This is probably the first course of its kind in our country. In an interview with us, Professor Sengupta spoke about this new course.
The main purpose of our research is to find out a possible answer of the eternal question, if there is anybody out there or if there exists life elsewhere in the universe. Now, unfortunately, in India, most of the research are confined in premier research institutes. So the research is not in that way propagated to the universities or colleges. And therefore, we are unable to train the young student about this extraterrestrial life or extrasolar planet, etc. Fortunately, in 2023, Asoka University invited me to teach a course on solar and extrasolar planet. And I got the opportunity to train some of the young mind about these extrasolar planets and how to search for biosignature and life on these planets. In addition to these exoplanet courses, in 2024, Asoka University invited me for another foundation courses. There also the first year graduate students are taught how is the solar planets, how is our Earth, and how we search for planet outside the solar system and how we search for life outside. But the great thing is that while searching for another planet Earth, while searching for life, we understand how rare is planet Earth where life exists. So I teach them what are the critical conditions that is needed for life to origin and to survive, and thus the need of protecting this planet Earth, because the Earth has many dangers. A comet, asteroid can hit it, just like 60 million years ago, the dinosaur got completely extinct because of the collision with a asteroid. So there could be huge plate tectonic or earthquake, there could be huge tsunami that may destroy the life completely. But in that case, we have no place to migrate where help can come. Therefore, Earth is a very rare planet for us and we need to protect this planet.
He also elaborated on the techniques of spotting extrasolar planets.
There are two ways of finding out life. One is to search for extraterrestrial signal, that is a techno signal from the space. Another is to find out the biosignature. First and foremost thing is that we have to search for and find out as many planets as possible outside the solar system. About 5,000 planets has been discovered. The next step is to find out which planet is similar to the planet Earth. That means the planet which has a rocky surface, the planet which has a temperature appropriate for water to exist in liquid form, which has an atmosphere. Now, once we find out all such type of planets which are similar to Earth, we will find out the chemical composition of their atmosphere. In the first atmosphere of Earth, oxygen molecule that we breathe was not there. About 3.9 billion years ago, a bacteria called cyanobacteria started doing photosynthesis. So they combine carbon dioxide and water by using sun rays, the solar energy, they produced oxygen molecule. So once cyanobacteria started doing photosynthesis, the atmosphere was rich in oxygen molecule, and therefore the atmosphere got completely changed, and these oxygen molecules are not chemically produced, but they are produced by the biological process. This oxygen molecule, when goes to the top of the atmosphere, it gets dissociated by the intense solar ultraviolet ray and become oxygen atom. Now one oxygen atom combines one oxygen molecule to form the ozone layer. Thus, the ozone layer in the Earth atmosphere is created, and this ozone layer is protecting us from the energetic ultraviolet ray of the sun. So, both oxygen molecule and the ozone layer are the biosignature because they are produced by biological procedure. Now, in an oxygen atmosphere, If methane is found in excess, then also that will indicate another biosignature. Methane molecule are there in other planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Saturn's moon Titan. But when there is oxygen in the atmosphere, oxygen reacts with methane and it produces carbon dioxide and water. If in an oxygen-rich atmosphere similar to our Earth, methane is chemically produced, it will automatically get dissociated into carbon dioxide and water. But if there is a biologically produced methane, so that is the extra methane, this equilibrium gets violated and the methane can be present and can be detected. So this methane comes from the dissociation of living cells by bacteria. Therefore, methane is also a biosignature and we are searching for the signature of methane also.
You just heard an interview with Professor Sujan Sengupta on finding exoplanets and about a new undergraduate course on the same. In Radioscope, next, we have a short feature titled Beyond the Blue on the occasion of the International Day of Human Space Flight. It is narrated by Sengupta Nandi, scripted and produced by Shamaita.
Юрий Гагарин стал первым космонавтом планеты, неразрывно связано с именем Королева.
12th April 1961. The world looked up. Prayer on every lip as the countdown at Russia's Baikonur cosmodrome began. Everyone waited with bated breath, and Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin becomes the first human to break free from gravity's grip aboard Vostok 1. It took him about 108 minutes at an altitude of 327 kilometers to make one complete orbit around the Earth. For the first time, humanity noted that the Earth appears blue from space. The boy from Klashino, son of a carpenter, now an eternal star in our cosmic map. He orbited around the planet once, but inspired generations to dream big and aim for the stars. Akashvani traveled to Gorky Southern, the Russian consulate in Kolkata, to catch a glimpse of the cosmonauts' day celebrations.
My name is Maxim Kozlov. I'm Consul General of Russia in Kolkata. So please welcome to Gorky Southern in Kolkata. Today we have this beautiful program, the competition. It's not a competition, but a sit and draw like events for schoolboys and schoolgirls, drawing pictures of cosmos, of Yuri Gagarin's first flight to space. Gagarin represents not only Russia, but the humanity, because he was the first human who went to space.
Friends, Yuri Gagarin had opened the door to the heavens for the mankind to explore the great beyond. Following his suit, American astronaut and engineer went on to become the first human to land on the moon on 20th of July 1969.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
After landing on the moon, astronauts Neil Armstrong came to Mumbai in October 1969 for 3 days on a goodwill tour.
When we left Cape Kennedy on Apollo 11 last July, it was a very warm and sunny day, almost exactly like today in Bombay. We left all the fire, smoke, and noise behind us, and as we climbed into orbit, it was a very smooth and relatively quiet ride. It takes us about 11 minutes altogether from the ground to reaching Earth orbit, and we spend a couple of hours in Earth orbit making sure that everything is working properly prior to committing to going to the moon. And as we looked out our windows, we could see the Earth getting smaller and the lunar surface, of course, becoming larger and larger until finally 3 days later, we had this view of the lunar surface.
But the stars don't just belong to the past. They wait for new eyes, new minds, new questions. In this archival interview, India's former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, fondly known as the Missile Man of India, has a message for the youth.
In this world vision of space knowledge power, I have suggested that solar power satellite in geosynchronous orbit. Solar power satellite means sun shines, morning starts, sun sets in the evening, 6 hours to 8 hours. If you go to geosynchronous orbit, about 40,000 kilometers, nearly 24 hours sun is shining. So I am saying push the solar power satellite. That means many nations join together. Huge solar power satellite they have to build. Challenge is going to be how to bring the power safely to the earth. That's what Indian youth should enter in a big way. And also the world youth also should join. So this is the dream project of our dreams one day becomes a reality.
While Dr. Kalam ignited young minds with dreams of the future, the roots of India's space journey trace back to a moment of shared triumph, when two nations looked skyward together. Coincidentally, both milestones, Gagarin's leap and Rakesh Sharma's flight, took place in the month of April. Maxim Kozlov, the Russian Counselor General, recalls that historic Indo-Soviet handshake, when Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma carried the pride of 1 billion Indians to the Earth's orbit.
It started long back when we helped India to launch Aryabhata and then Bhaskar 1, Bhaskar 2. And also, of course, 2 years back we celebrate 40 years of the first Indian cosmonaut Rakesh Sharma flight to space. And nowadays we're also collaborating with India and helping it to develop its own Gaganyaan program. And also we were very proud of India. We successfully landed its satellite, its Yaan, on lunar surface. And this collaboration, this Sahayagita, how to say it, will go on.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma.
This is the very first time that mankind is leaving the confines of the earth with the intention to colonize its neighborhood. I really nurture the hope that we don't end up exporting conflict to other planets which we shall be visiting in future. None of the paradigms which define us here on Earth, whether it be the borders, whether it be the way we have divided ourselves culturally or by language and religion, none of this should mar our presence in space. And this is my fond hope. We Indians who now do occupy a position at the high table of space exploration due to our recent successes, I'm sure we would be having a voice in hammering out policy for the future.
It has been 64 years since the first human flew to space. And now, the sky is no longer the limit. The moon, Mars and beyond. The cosmos is calling.
After that feature titled Beyond the Blue, scripted and produced by Shamaita, we talked to Shreelata Krishnan, who is heading an initiative to make climate action more effective by redefining leadership in this particular area. Interviewing her is Dr. Pratim Das. We have with us Shreelata Krishnan, Director, School of Policy and Governance. Her institution works in the area of sustainability and climate change. Over the years, has guided many leaders in this field, making their work more effective and making those projects more friendly for the world. So today we would like to ask her, how do you go about your work? How do you plan things? And when you work with different type of clients, how do you manage the whole project?
We've been working with leaders of various kinds. Our core domains happen to be climate change and public policy, and what we want to do is transform 1 billion lives by 2030. We have delivered quite a few programs, but 3 of the main programs that I would like to highlight are, first is the Net Zero Fellowship. In 23, we did 3 Net Zero Fellowships, and each of them were for a particular region. So North India, South India, Northeast India. For the South India leaders, we did a workshop for 3 days in Goa. There, we brought in experts who explained to all these leaders why it is important to understand what is climate change, what are the challenges that all of us are facing. And when they understood this science, many of these leaders actually did not know what happens in COP, what is the Paris Agreement, or, how do you analyze a policy? How is a policy brief created? So many of them didn't know many things, but it was a safe platform where they could openly come out and say, oh, thank you, I didn't know. There were leaders from Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka. So we mixed everybody up and we told each group, think of 1, 2 or 3 initiatives that you want to spearhead when you go back in your constituency, in your media house. So many of them came up with real initiatives, and after the Net Zero Fellowship, they went back and ensured that those initiatives were implemented. I'll give you a quick example. One of the leaders from Karnataka who was in the Net Zero Fellowship said that we will put net zero targets in our party manifesto. She put it in the party manifesto, and the party manifesto was publicly declared where there were 3 net zero targets the party had to achieve. So these are the kind of things that we want leaders to do. It's about taking that first step. Other things will follow. Similarly, another leader in Tamil Nadu wanted to ensure that there was solar power in his constituency. He went back and ensured that funding was made available for that solar project. So that's one way we engage with leaders. The second thing is when we are able to engage with leaders and take them through the process of understanding how to develop your own commitments. I'll give you an example of that. Last August, we worked with the UNFCCC regional office of East and South Africa, where they brought 15 policy makers, bureaucrats from 3 different countries, Uganda, Kenya and Rwanda. There is something called the nationally determined contributions that every country has to declare as part of the Paris Agreement.
NDC.
Yes, NDCs. So our training program was how do you develop these NDCs? What are the frameworks you need to refer to? And then once you develop these NDCs, how do you implement them? Give them inputs which are relevant to them for their region. Right. We cannot give general inputs. We can't talk about climate change. Everybody knows about climate change. Everybody knows what the challenges are. What we don't understand is how do I tackle that problem and what is the solution to that problem and how do I implement it? So that was one program. And the other kind of programs that we do are the ones we design and put out for anyone, you, me, we can just sign up for those programs. People coming to these programs are actually professionals. They have the foundation knowledge. What they need is, let's say, if you want to calculate emissions, you need to know how to calculate. So they need to know that particular aspect of the problem. So we had a mixed bunch in this program. So these are the ways that, we work with leadership. It's been a good journey so far, and we hope we can do a lot more.
Thank you for speaking to Akashvani. That was an interview with Shreelata Krishnan on creating smart leadership to make climate actions more effective. In Radioscope, finally, we have an interview-based program on the observation of the World Immunization Week. Narration by Uzma Jahangir, script and production by Durba Dey.
A mother of 4 and daily wage worker from Kishanganj in Bihar, Kamala says she felt scared about the vaccines. She heard enough rumors about harmful side effects. Several health workers came to visit her to try to convince her to vaccinate her newborn Ayush, but she still felt uneasy. That was until she met Fatima, an Anganwadi worker. A mother herself, Fatima connected with Kamala and patiently explained how vaccinating her own children has kept them safe from diseases. To amplify the voice of immunization, every year World Immunization Week is organized by World Health Organization. It is held from April 24th to 30th. This year, under the banner, Immunization for All is Humanly Possible. This global health campaign aims to ensure even more children, adolescents, adults are protected against vaccine-preventable diseases. Dr. Siddhartha Mani, interventional cardiologist of Arindam Hospital, explains the process of acquiring infection and how vaccination plays a crucial role in preventing outbreaks.
Truly speaking, vaccinations has changed the entire scenario of medical practice in our country. It has saved many people from untreatable infections or diseases, and many of the diseases have been eradicated from the world, like smallpox. So suppose a microorganism enters our body through either inhalation, respiratory system, or through the gut system. So it enters the bloodstream. In the bloodstream, the parts of this microorganism's body, they act as antigens, and our blood cells, the T lymphocytes, they detect these antigens as foreign particles. So they immediately try to produce antibodies against these antigens. They will attach to these antigens and they will prevent these antigens to enter the different organs and produce harmful effects.
How do vaccines work?
We select a few microorganisms and artificially in the laboratory we kill those microorganisms. This is injected inside the body. So it will, as it is, not cause any disease, but their body antigens, they remain intact. The white blood cells, they instantly react in the same way that yes, some foreign antigen has come, we have to produce antibodies. And there are memory cells in our body. So they will remember this antigen throughout the life. If somehow in future these microorganisms really enter our body in the form of infection, our blood cells already has a memory against these antigens, and so they will immediately respond, and instantly the already produced antibodies attack these antigens and try to neutralize them.
Why are not all vaccines 100% effective?
In our country, many a times we do not vaccinate our children properly and we miss vaccines. So there are many loopholes. We have to keep on vaccinating generations after generations to eradicate a disease completely from the world. And obviously there are newer and newer researches coming on different other forms of vaccines like the mRNA vaccines or the gene vaccines, gene therapies. They are coming up. Maybe this is something new to the scientists. We need to gather more data. It shows promising results.
Newly informed and confident, Kamala agreed to take baby Ayush for his first immunizations. Since then, Kamala has become a champion for vaccination with her community. By fostering open dialogues about vaccines, we can begin to dismantle barriers of fear and misinformation, leading to increased vaccination rates and healthier populations.
With that program by Durba Dey, we come to the end of our presentation. This edition of Radioscope is planned, scripted and produced by Dr. Manush Pratim Dash. A contribution of Akashvani Kolkata, this broadcast came to you from the Delhi station of Akashvani. Till we meet again, good night and goodbye.